Have you ever started manifesting something, and instead of feeling powerful, you felt uneasy? Maybe your stomach tightened. Maybe doubts crept in, whispering, "This isn't working." Most people take that as a bad sign. But what if I told you it's the opposite? What if the very moment it feels wrong is the proof that things are shifting in your favor? This is the paradox of quantum manifestation. And it's one of the biggest reasons so many people give up too early. They don't understand that when reality begins to bend, your old self resists. The discomfort isn't failure. It's the friction of change. In fact, that resistance might be the best signal that your energy is finally breaking free from its old patterns. Think about it. When you decide to create something beyond your current life, you're not just making a wish. You're colliding with years of conditioning, beliefs, and subconscious habits that built your current reality. Of course it feels strange. Of course it feels wrong. You're asking your brain and body to believe in a world that doesn't exist yet. The nervous system fires alarms. The mind wants certainty, but certainty doesn't create miracles. Uncertainty does. And this is why you should lean in. The wrong feeling is not a red light. It's a green light dressed as fear. It's a sign that your old reality is dissolving and your new one is forming. Science even offers us a metaphor for this. In quantum physics, particles exist in possibilities until observed. When you focus your energy, you collapse the possibilities into form. But collapsing possibilities means letting go of what was, and the body doesn't always enjoy that leap. Most people never hear this truth. They think manifestation should feel calm, easy, natural right from the start. But ease usually means you're still in familiar territory. Growth doesn't begin with ease. It begins with disruption. Just like muscles ache before they grow stronger, your spirit feels unsettled before your reality expands. So stay with me until the end of this video, because we're going to go deeper into why that uneasy feeling is not just normal but necessary. You'll discover why resistance is actually a sign that your energy field is upgrading. You'll see how your doubts can transform into allies if you understand their role. And you'll learn a perspective most people miss, the idea that the initial discomfort is the evidence that manifestation is already happening. If you've ever wondered why your journey feels off, or if you've doubted yourself because the process wasn't smooth, then this message is for you. The truth is, manifestation doesn't feel like magic at first. It feels like breaking rules. It feels like stepping into a reality your old self cannot recognize. But that is exactly why it works. Stay with me, because once you understand this paradox, you'll never mistake discomfort for failure again. You'll know it for what it truly is, the birth of your new reality. Before we talk about the power and beauty of manifestation, we need to be honest about how it feels at the start. When your inner energy begins to shift toward a new reality, it doesn't always feel light or inspiring. In fact, many people describe the first sensations as heavy, confusing, and even unsettling. It's as if your body and mind are trying to warn you that something is off. You might notice a tightness in your chest, a racing heart, or a restless mind that keeps questioning if you're doing something wrong. These feelings are not signs of failure. They are the echoes of your old patterns fighting for survival. The doubt usually arrives quickly. As you start visualizing a life that's bigger than what you've known, your inner critic gets louder. Thoughts like "this is unrealistic," or "who am I to want this?" begin circling in your head. It feels like a battle between who you've always been and the version of yourself you are trying to become. This mental resistance is normal. It's the mind's way of clinging to the familiar, because the unknown feels risky, even when the unknown is exactly what you desire. Alongside the mental noise, there is often a physical response. Your body reacts to new thoughts with unease. Sleep may feel lighter, as if you can't fully rest. You might feel drained during the day, struggling to find calm in the middle of your practice. These physical sensations can make you believe that something is wrong with the process. But what's really happening is that your nervous system is recalibrating. It's adjusting to a vision that is not yet tangible, and that adjustment takes energy. There's also an emotional layer. At times you might feel impatient or frustrated. The gap between where you are and where you want to be can create a sense of tension, almost like stretching a rubber band to its limit. That tension is the emotional discomfort of growth. It shows up as doubt, fear, or even guilt for wanting something different. These emotions can be strong enough to make you question the entire practice, but they are also proof that you are touching a deeper part of yourself that was once dormant. Sometimes the sensations feel like standing at the edge of a cliff. You can see the horizon you want to reach, but stepping forward feels terrifying. This is the exact point where many people retreat, choosing safety over expansion. Yet this uneasy stage is not the end of the journey. It's the threshold. The wrongness you feel is not because manifestation doesn't work. It's because your old identity is being challenged. That identity has been built over years, through habits, beliefs, and experiences. Letting it go feels unnatural, even though it's what makes room for transformation. Every shiver of doubt, every moment of unease, and every restless night is part of this shift. These sensations are the body's way of signaling that change is underway, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. The unease doesn't mean you're failing. It means your energy is moving, and your reality is beginning to take a new shape. It often starts with doubt or discomfort before clarity or alignment appears. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of manifestation. People expect instant peace, instant certainty, or instant results. Instead, the first thing they usually encounter is resistance. The mind begins to argue, reminding you of all the times things didn't work out in the past. Your thoughts become noisy, filled with questions like, what if this is pointless? Or what if I'm just fooling myself? That storm of doubt feels like a step backward, but it's actually the very first step forward. Doubt comes because you're asking yourself to believe in something you cannot yet see. Your old beliefs have evidence. They've been reinforced by years of living in a certain way. The new belief you are building doesn't have proof yet, and your brain notices that gap. It challenges you, not to destroy your hope, but to test the strength of your desire. If you can hold steady when doubt rises, you begin to train your mind to lean into possibility instead of fear. Discomfort often arrives alongside that doubt. The discomfort can show up in different ways. For some, it's emotional restlessness. You might feel irritated without knowing why. For others, it's a physical heaviness, as though the body is weighed down by invisible pressure. You may find it harder to focus, or your energy may swing from high to low within a single day. All of this is part of the transition. You are stretching beyond the boundaries of your familiar reality, and stretching is never comfortable in the beginning. The irony is that discomfort is a signal of progress. It means your energy is moving. When water starts to boil, it bubbles chaotically before it becomes steam. The same happens within you. Your thoughts and emotions bubble up, unsettled, before they shift into alignment. If you mistake that stage as failure, you pull away too early. But if you see it as part of the process, you can ride the wave until calmness arrives. Clarity does not appear instantly. It builds gradually, often after the storm of doubt has passed. Once the body and mind adjust to the new vibration, you begin to notice small shifts. A sense of calm replaces the constant questioning. Ideas start to flow more easily. You feel a quiet confidence that wasn't there before. This clarity doesn't come because everything outside you has changed yet. It comes because your inner state has adjusted, and you are no longer fighting yourself. Alignment follows that clarity. It's the stage where your actions, thoughts, and emotions begin to line up with the vision you've been holding. At first it felt wrong, like walking in the dark. But after the discomfort has done its work, alignment feels natural, almost effortless. What once seemed impossible starts to feel like the next logical step. This is the beauty of the process. What begins in doubt always opens the door to certainty, if you are patient enough to allow it. The body and nervous system react first. Feeling off means your old reality is shifting. Before your mind can fully accept a new vision, your body senses the change. It's designed to keep you safe, and safety for the body often means familiarity. When you imagine or affirm a reality that is very different from the one you've lived in, your nervous system interprets it as a disruption. That disruption can feel like anxiety, restlessness, or even physical fatigue. You may notice your heart beating faster, your stomach tightening, or a strange heaviness in your chest. These signals can be confusing, but they are not warnings that you are on the wrong path. They are signs that your system is adjusting to a new frequency. Think of the body as an antenna. It picks up on shifts in energy before the mind makes sense of them. If you've spent years living in scarcity, your nervous system has learned to regulate itself around lack. When you suddenly start affirming abundance, or visualizing wealth, your body doesn't recognize that energy. It reacts as though you are stepping into unknown territory, and unknown territory feels threatening to a survival-driven system. This is why so many people feel physically off when they begin practicing manifestation. The body is not rejecting the new reality, it's recalibrating itself. Sometimes this recalibration shows up in your sleep. You might toss and turn, waking up in the middle of the night with racing thoughts. Other times, it shows up in your mood. You may feel easily triggered or ungrounded, as if small things throw you off balance. All of this is your nervous system trying to process the new information you're feeding it. Your affirmations, your visualizations, your new beliefs, they are inputs. And just like the body reacts when you change your diet, it also reacts when you change your energetic diet. It's important to understand that this reaction is not a setback. Feeling off is a natural stage in growth. Athletes feel soreness after a new workout. Students feel overwhelmed when they learn a new subject. In the same way, your nervous system feels strained when it begins to align with a new reality. The strain doesn't mean you're failing, it means your system is rewiring itself to hold a bigger version of you. As this process continues, the body eventually adapts. The signals of fear or restlessness begin to quiet down. Your nervous system learns that the new thoughts and beliefs are not dangerous. In time, it stabilizes around them, and what once felt foreign becomes natural. This is why persistence matters so much. If you stop when the body feels off, you never give it the chance to complete the shift. But if you stay with the practice, the body moves from resistance into acceptance. And once acceptance arrives, the old reality loses its hold, making space for the new one to emerge. Resistance means you're moving beyond comfort zones. It's a sign that your field is adjusting. Whenever you try to create something new, the first wall you run into is resistance. It can show up as self-doubt, procrastination, fear, or even sudden distractions that pull you away from your vision. Most people take resistance as a sign to stop, but in reality, it's proof that movement is happening. You wouldn't feel the pushback if you weren't pressing against the edge of what you've always known. Comfort zones are built from repetition. They are the familiar patterns, routines, and beliefs that keep life predictable. When you begin to shift into a new version of yourself, you naturally step outside of that predictability. The nervous system doesn't like uncertainty, so it sends signals to pull you back into the old rhythm. That pullback is what you feel as resistance. It's not punishment, it's simply your system trying to keep you in a space that feels safe, even if that space is limiting. The moment you notice resistance, it means energy is stirring. Your field, your energetic space is realigning. Imagine stretching a rubber band. At first it feels easy, but the more you pull, the more tension you feel. That tension is not a sign to let go. It's a sign that the band is expanding beyond its normal state. The same thing happens with your energy field. Resistance is the tension created as you stretch into a version of yourself that your old identity has never held before. Resistance also reveals itself in subtle emotional ways. You may suddenly feel unmotivated, even toward things that once excited you, or you may find yourself questioning if your dreams are even possible. These emotional dips are not random, they are the natural reaction of a system that is reorganizing itself. Every time you choose to hold the vision instead of collapsing back into the old story, you strengthen your ability to stay outside of the comfort zone. That strengthening is how growth locks in. Even the environment can reflect resistance back to you. Friends, family, or colleagues might question your choices, making you doubt your direction. Challenges may arise that seem perfectly timed to test your patience or faith. It can feel like the universe itself is against you, but what's really happening is that your external world is mirroring the shifts taking place inside of you. The resistance you see outside is simply the echo of the adjustments happening in your energetic field. Over time, if you continue through resistance, you'll notice the field stabilizing. What once felt impossible begins to feel natural, the tension fades, and what used to take effort starts to flow more easily. This is the reward of pushing through. Resistance was never there to block you. It was there to confirm that you were in motion, stepping into an expanded version of you and allowing your field to adjust to the new frequency you're choosing to live in. Positive mindset is helpful, but pairing it with action is more effective than wishful thinking alone. Many people hear about manifestation and believe that simply thinking happy thoughts will be enough to change everything. They repeat affirmations, they visualize their goals, and they try to stay optimistic. While this is a powerful start, mindset alone cannot move the pieces of life into place. Without action, those thoughts remain trapped in the realm of imagination. The shift happens when the energy of belief meets the momentum of choice and behavior. Think of it this way: planting a seed in the ground is like setting your intention with a positive mindset. You know what you want to grow, and you hold the vision of it in your heart. But if you never water the seed, never give it sunlight, and never tend to the soil, the seed cannot grow. Action is the water and sunlight. It's what transforms the potential into reality. Manifestation works the same way. Positive thoughts prepare the ground, but your actions give life to those thoughts. This is why so many people feel frustrated with the process. They sit in meditation, they imagine their desires, and yet nothing changes. The truth is, change requires alignment between what you believe and what you do. If you affirm abundance but avoid opportunities, if you visualize love but shut yourself off from connection, or if you dream of success but never take a step forward, the energy remains stuck. The universe responds to both your vibration and your movement. Action does not always have to be grand. Sometimes it is a small step in the direction of you. If you are manifesting a healthier body, it might mean choosing one nourishing meal today. If you are manifesting financial growth, it might mean opening a savings account or learning a new skill. These small actions may seem insignificant, but combined with belief, they create momentum. Momentum is the language that tells the universe you are serious about your desire. A positive mindset also becomes stronger when it is supported by evidence. Every action you take provides feedback to your brain that what you want is possible. This feedback reduces doubt and reinforces belief. When you see even a small result from your inner voice of skepticism grows quieter, your nervous system begins to feel safe in the new reality, because it sees proof unfolding in front of you. This is how clarity and confidence grow, not by thought alone, but by thought combined with practice. Wishful thinking, on its own, often leads to disappointment, but when you merge your mindset with consistent action, you create a powerful cycle. Belief fuels action, action builds results, and results strengthen belief. This cycle becomes the engine of manifestation. It moves you out of fantasy and into creation. A positive mindset is the spark, but action is the fire that carries your vision into the physical world. Beware of pressure to just manifest everything. Failure to see results can hurt mental well-being. In recent years, the idea of manifestation has spread widely, often presented as a quick fix to all of life's problems. The message is seductive. Think it, believe it, and it will come. While there is value in positive focus and the creative power of the mind, the pressure to rely solely on manifestation can create hidden stress. When people are told that every aspect of their life is within their control through thought alone, they begin to feel guilty or ashamed if things don't turn out the way they expected. Instead of being uplifting, the practice becomes a heavy weight. This pressure often shows up in subtle ways. Someone might repeat affirmations every morning, telling themselves they are abundant, yet their bills pile up. Or they may visualize love, repeating that their soulmate is near, but they remain single. When reality does not match the vision, the person may start blaming themselves. They think, maybe I didn't believe hard enough, or maybe my energy is broken. This self-blame can spiral into anxiety, low self-esteem, or even depression. What started as a hopeful practice now feels like proof of personal failure. It is important to remember that manifestation is not a replacement for life's natural process. External factors exist, timing, circumstances, and even challenges designed to grow you. No matter how focused your mindset, not everything will align instantly. Expecting life to bend overnight to your will can set up disappointment. That disappointment, repeated again and again, chips away at mental well-being. The mind starts to equate unfulfilled desires with being unworthy, and this can create a dangerous cycle of negative self-talk. Another layer of pressure comes from social media. Countless posts and videos show people claiming instant results from manifestation. They describe overnight wealth, dream jobs appearing in days, or perfect relationships dropping into their lives with no effort. For someone struggling, these stories can trigger comparison and feelings of inadequacy. The message seems to be, if you can't manifest like this, something is wrong with you. In truth, these stories are often exaggerated, simplified, or lacking context, but the impact they leave is very real. The healthier perspective is to treat manifestation as a tool, not a test of worth. Positive thinking, visualization, and intention setting can inspire hope and motivate action. They can help you notice opportunities you might otherwise ignore, but they should not become a rigid rulebook that punishes you for being human. Mental well-being depends on balance, acknowledging that while you do have creative power, you are also part of a world with moving pieces you cannot always control. When manifestation is practiced with compassion instead of pressure, it uplifts rather than harms. It becomes a supportive mindset instead of. Without this understanding, the gap between desire and reality can feel like failure, when in truth, it is simply part of the journey. Your attention and energy influence manifestation, like quantum observation. Your focus helps collapse possibilities into reality. In the realm of physics, there is a concept known as the observer effect. At the smallest levels, particles do not exist in one fixed place until they are observed. They move as probabilities, as if countless versions exist at once. The moment an observer focuses on them, the possibilities narrow into one outcome. This idea offers a powerful metaphor for manifestation. Your life too is filled with infinite possibilities. but where you place your attention determines which of those possibilities solidifies into your reality. When you constantly focus on what you lack, your attention strengthens that state of lack. The energy you give to problems, worries, or fears helps those conditions repeat themselves. On the other hand, when you shift your attention toward what you want to create, you are no longer feeding the old story, you are nourishing the new one. Just like the observer collapses a wave of probabilities into a single result, your focus collapses the infinite options of your future into the path that matches your energy. Energy follows attention. If you pour your energy into doubts, those doubts grow stronger. If you pour your energy into vision, that vision begins to take form. This does not mean ignoring reality, but it does mean choosing what part of reality you reinforce. The brain is wired to notice what you repeatedly focus on. If you keep directing attention toward abundance, love, or peace, the brain begins to filter life through that lens. You start noticing opportunities, synchronicities, and solutions that were always around you but hidden from view. Focus also influences behavior. A person who constantly thinks about failure will unconsciously act in ways that confirm it. They may hesitate, avoid risks, or sabotage their progress. A person who focuses on success, however, takes different actions. They make choices that align with their vision, even in small ways. These choices compound over time, shaping the reality that matches the energy they have been holding. In this sense, focus is not just spiritual, it is deeply practical. The power of attention also explains why scattered energy produces scattered results. If your mind jumps from one desire to another, from one fear to another, it's like shining a flashlight in every direction without ever lighting up one clear. But when you sustain focus on a single vision, the energy begins to build. Possibilities collapse more quickly, and the reality around you starts to reorganize itself in response. Just as observation in quantum experiments alters the outcome, your attention alters the landscape of your life. Every thought, every emotion, every burst of focus is a signal that guides energy into form. The more intentional your focus, the more intentional your life becomes. Reality doesn't shift because of chance. It shifts because your awareness and energy are powerful enough to shape the direction it takes. Acknowledge that scientific evidence for manifestation is lacking, but the practice remains meaningful when used wisely. Modern science has not yet provided concrete proof that thoughts alone can alter physical reality in the way many manifestation teachings suggest. While concepts like quantum physics are often mentioned in these discussions, mainstream research does not confirm that human intention directly shapes the physical world in a measurable, predictable way. This gap in evidence has led many critics to dismiss manifestation as nothing more than wishful thinking. Yet, the absence of scientific validation does not automatically strip the practice of value. For countless people, manifestation serves as a tool of focus, motivation, and empowerment. At its core, manifestation is about directing your attention toward a desired outcome and aligning your actions with that vision. Even without scientific backing, this approach can influence how you live. When you consistently visualize success, you prime your brain to notice opportunities connected to that vision. This isn't magic, it's psychology. The human mind has filters, like the reticular activating system, that determine what information stands out to you. If you tell your mind what matters by focusing on it, you are more likely to recognize patterns, connections, and chances that align with your goals. In this sense, manifestation works not because reality bends instantly to your will, but because you begin to act in ways that bring your intentions to life. There is also an emotional dimension that gives manifestation its meaning. Focusing on a positive outcome can lift your mood, reduce stress, and strengthen resilience. Even if nothing supernatural is happening, cultivating this mindset creates a healthier inner. People who believe in the possibility of change often take more inspired action than those who feel stuck in negativity. Belief energizes behavior. It's not about ignoring hardships, but about carrying a perspective that empowers rather than drains. The wisdom of manifestation lies in how it is used. If treated as a replacement for action, it may lead to disappointment. Simply wishing for results without movement can create frustration, but if it is used as a complement to action, manifestation becomes a powerful practice. Visualization, affirmations, or meditations help anchor a sense of possibility, paired with discipline, effort, and openness to opportunity. These practices keep you aligned with what you want to create. In this way, manifestation becomes less about bending reality and more about transforming yourself into someone who can meet reality differently. It's also important to practice manifestation responsibly. Telling yourself that every hardship is caused by your thoughts can lead to guilt and self-blame. Life is complex, with factors beyond anyone's control, but manifestation, when seen as a way to strengthen clarity, focus, and intention, empowers rather than harms. Science may not yet explain it fully, but meaning is limited to what can be measured. The act of directing energy toward a vision can still shape how you move through the world, and that alone can be transformative. Feeling wrong at first means you're changing. That uneasy shift, that discomfort, is not a signal to stop. It's proof that something within you is breaking free from the old and moving to change. Never feels smooth in the beginning, because your mind, body, and energy are adjusting to a higher alignment. That's the most important part. Trust this process and let it unfold. If this message spoke to you today, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more powerful insights that keep you aligned with your true path.